Quick, what do you think when you hear Smithsonian? You think Washington, D.C., right? Big museums, famous artifacts?
Well, there's a whole other Smithsonian out there, a center for world-class research, a source of knowledge for big issues like evolution, climate change, and the powerful forces that shape our planet.
And to get to the heart of it, you have to travel far from the National Mall. Farther, farther.
Okay, far enough.
What could one of the world's busiest commercial shipping lanes have to do with science? Believe it or not, there's a place where sloth researchers, canopy cranes, and Panamax freighters peacefully coexist.
Hello there, I'm Tom Cavanagh. Fake Hollywood backdrop? Why no, thanks for asking. We're about to go behind the scenes, that's 2,000 miles behind the scenes, to explore the Smithsonian Institution's tropical headquarters in the Central American nation of Panama.
Way down upon the Swanee River.
Those don't apply. We're here at the eighth wonder of the world, the Panama Canal, or as we say here in Panama, the Panama Canal.
About 40 ships a day pass through the locks of the Panama Canal.
Hello.
It's a handy shortcut between the Pacific and the Atlantic.
Tourists.
Guess what the average toll is? Give up?
Close to 100,000.
100,000 per. Wow.
But it's not just a cash cow. From the very beginning, the canal opened the Central American jungle to the inquisitive eye of science. Researchers arrived in 1904 to battle the scourge of yellow fever and malaria that was killing the workforce, and they never left. Today, the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, or STRI, is a network of labs and field stations where scientists work to understand life at its most diverse and abundant, in the tropics. It all started with the building of the canal and the birth of an island.
Hold the boat! Help! Gracias. Woo! Do we have any water?
More than half of the length of the Panama Canal came from damming the Chagres River. The largest island in the new lake was set aside for research, and that's where we're heading.
We're taking a ferry through the Panama Canal to reach the heart of STRI, Barro Colorado Island. The site of continuous intensive research since 1923, Barro Colorado might just be the most studied piece of rainforest in the world.
Many of the earliest studies on tropical forests were done on Barro Colorado, also called BCI. The first behavioral study of army ants was done there in the 1920s.
You ain't seen the last of old Ace Cavanagh!
BCI was the first tropical forest in the world where all the higher plant species were identified.
Woo!
Researchers there compiled the first estimate of the number of species on our planet. At 30 million, it was more than 3 times what is thought now. But you have to start somewhere.
Ah, the sea is angry today, my friends.
Today, BCI is the gold standard for research in the tropics.
For the next 2 nights, I'm going to be living on this isolated tropical island. It's a dense, vicious rainforest, teeming with wild beasts. It's going to be hot, it's going to be wet, and I'll be living by my wits alone. Come along, if you dare.
When I heard I was heading to a tropical research island, I thought I'd be sleeping on anthills and using leaves for toilet paper. Not this. State-of-the-art labs, spectacular views of the canal from the hammocks on the balcony.
2, 1. Ding, 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 ding.
Really nice cafeteria.
Ooh, pineapple.
Not that I'll be enjoying any of that. The other 98% of the island is real jungle.
Roughing it? Well, yeah. That's what you do when you're on a quest. The quest to observe the Scientificus Smithsoniensis, the spectacled Smithsonian scientist.
Scientists are elusive creatures. But if you stake out their territory long enough, you may catch a glimpse. There's some now. Bryson Vuren is a sloth researcher, better known to his colleagues as the sloth sleuth. He's working with ecologist Martin Wikelski.
We're interested in how these animals sleep in the wild because, I mean, there are sleep studies on animals, but mostly in the lab, and this is one of the first in the wild. The technology has advanced so much. We have 3D acceleration loggers, so we can reconstruct the movement of these animals in 3D all the time for months.
Wow.
Also get the GPS coordinates, altitude, and then also the sleep pattern.
For their research, they need a volunteer. You there, thank you for volunteering. Most of what we know about sloths is from studying them in captivity. They seem to spend about 18 hours a day sleeping. Sounds nice. But what about in the wild?
How does a fella go about catching a sloth?
We have to climb and get them, so it's really hard. So we actually guarantee
That, by the way, is the scientific terminology. Climb up there and get them. So you're going to go up there, so you're a brave man. Rob, can you get a shot of Bryson's arms? This is not the first time this man has climbed a tree today. What exactly do you do?
I've got a snare pull.
Basically just go through like that, and then you pull
And then it pulls and it tightens real quick.
Right.
This one seems to me very high up.
Well, actually, this one, it's a known animal to us, so we know it.
You know the sloth.
Blaze.
Blaze. This is fantastic.
Blaze the sloth.
I like that.
Good luck.
All right, thanks.
Once Bryson gets Blaze down, she'll be outfitted with a new kind of tracking device and an EEG to measure brain activity, then released to go about her business. In the past, scientists on Barro, Colorado have used radio telemetry to track animals and learn more about their behavior. Sometimes they can see that the transmitter stopped moving. If something killed the animal, there's still an opportunity for new information. So they hightail it out to the spot and set up a video camera to see what happens to the body. It was this technique that revealed for the first time an unusual behavior among coatimundis. They were observed visiting the body of their dead comrade, a behavior previously seen only in elephants. But even automated radio telemetry requires multiple radio towers to pinpoint a location. This new device, a GPS, can penetrate the dense forest canopy to send information to a satellite. And Blaze gets to be the first to try it out.
It looks simple. I've done a little bit of this kind of climbing. What Bryson just did and made look really, really easy is kind of not easy. When I do it, this is what it's like.
Sloth versus sloth sleuth. 40 feet above our heads, the chase is on. In her canopy habitat, Blaze is an artful dodger. Bryson is no Tarzan, stuck to his ropes.
Is this the branch the sloth is on?
Bryson, it's exactly straight out from you at your height.
Blaze has the crisscrossing limbs of the forest canopy to make her getaway. Bryson must shut down those escape routes. He tries to shake branches to scare her off connecting limbs. Yet Blaze takes the high road.
Sloth is closer to us.
Do we not on the right branch?
She's heading for a neighboring tree.
Oh, damn it. He's right there.
And Bryson runs into a nest of biting ants.
Can't see him anymore. You still see him?
It looks like the game is up. The jig is done. The plot foiled. Blaze makes it to another tree. An exciting treetop chase. But I'm half wishing I'd run into a mole researcher. Haha, not really. It's a joke. What's this? Hold the phone. All bets are off. A truly unprecedented turn of events. Blaze is heading for the ground. She's giving Bryson the home field advantage.
Bryson is poised to make his move.
We have to hold our cameraman back. The sloth can't see very well, but if she hears us, she'll head back up.
So you got him.
Yep. Come with me. There we go.
Wow.
He's a little angry.
Is he like, I want to go back up there?
It'll hurt real bad.
Here's something you don't know about sloths until you see them up close. They are covered with green algae.
The sloths have special hair that allows the algae to grow in it.
So that green that we see on a sloth's back is actually algae.
Yep, that's algae. No mammals have green hair, and this is the only terrestrial mammal with algae on it.
The algae that grows on sloths doesn't grow anywhere else. Scientists aren't sure if the sloths get anything out of the relationship. It might work as camouflage or as an occasional source of nutrition.
And these are the moths that live only on the sloth, nowhere else in the world.
Are those like parasites that live
No
off
one
the
really
sloth?
knows, actually, if they hurt the sloth or they benefit the sloth. They benefit from the sloth because they get somewhere to live, and they lay their eggs in the sloth poop.
This is Blaze's fancy new GPS, applied using a touch of eyelash glue. Combined with the new EEG device, the scientists will know exactly where Blaze is, and more importantly, whether she's sleeping. Bryson released Blaze that night. Only 5 days later, the team had valuable new sloth information. Remember when we said captive sloths sleep for 18 hours a day? Well, the brand new data shows that wild sloths may be actually sleeping only half that time. This was a total surprise to the researchers.
Oh, hey. I wasn't sleeping. I was just resting. Yeah, I'm on the web looking through all the sloth websites. There's millions of them, trust me. I'm gonna spread the news about the big breakthrough. I'm gonna rain on this guy's parade. They don't sleep 18 hours a day, Randy. They just rest.
Don't look now, but here come some more scientists. Man, this place is crawling with them. On this particular day, there are 39 scientists here and 200 active projects.
Tight. Thank you.
There's so much science going on that it's easy to forget that every day millions of dollars worth of consumer products and raw materials chug serenely by.
Drive boat up Panama Canal? Check.
The Panama Canal and Smithsonian researchers have a kind of symbiotic relationship, going back to one of the first shovels full of dirt. It was the great cuts in the earth made by the builders that gave scientists access to deeply buried rock and fossils. In the 1980s, Smithsonian geologist Tony Coates and his colleagues had the first clues that millions of years ago an event happened right here that changed the face of the entire planet.
Hey, Tom.
Hello, Tony.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. How are you? Thanks for having me over
Welcome
here.
to the canal.
Did you call for that boat to come out?
I had it ordered specially
For our background of our shot?
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
I also ordered this map. It's a very rare and expensive item.
Is it really?
From the local
I
pharmacy.
can tell by the creases in it. Yes, that it's a. So this is an incredible thing. This land has come up from the depths of the ocean.
Absolutely. Where we're standing used to be an ocean a couple of thousand meters deep.
This narrow connection of land between North and South America is only about 3 million years old. The two continents used to be separate. The southern tip of North America grew southward through volcanic activity. And the two continents crept closer together, driven by plate tectonics. The isthmus changed everything, even the weather.
It has global effect. I mean, you could literally say that the formation of the Isthmus of Panama changed the world. The most important change probably initially was the diverting and strengthening of the Gulf Stream, forcing it to go up past Cape Hatteras and then across the North Atlantic, bathing the whole of Europe, London, Oslo, Trondheim, and that's why they never freeze in the winter.
It's global climate change, but the good kind. 100% organic, completely natural.
Another result is that caused a shift in the climatic belts on the eastern side of the Atlantic, resulting in tropical Africa becoming more savanna, driving primates to have to come down on the ground and organize themselves in socially intelligent groups. And perhaps, therefore, was the driver of hominid evolution. Yeah. The rise of the Isthmus of Panama, literally as well as figuratively, changed the world.
And what came next was like a stampede. Animals from South America, long isolated, flooded north, and vice versa. Well, not elephants. But mastodons, camels, rhinos, 19-foot-high sloths, 12-foot predatory birds, dogs and horses moved in and made themselves at home. South American animals didn't fare so well in the great competition that followed.
These guys in South America have been on their own for 40 million years. The top predator of this thing is a bird. Well, you know, mammals, what do birds do? They lay eggs. Good.
Yeah, let's go.
So this great towering predator gets wiped out because all the little mammals eat the eggs.
Tony's research revealed a melee in the few million years following the rise of the isthmus. 60% of mammals in South America today came from the north. But in temperate North America, only 3 lone species from the south are still around: the possum, the porcupine, and the armadillo. It was the building of the Panama Canal that really opened up the area to this kind of research, and it's still happening today. Like when the Canal Authority decided in 2006 to make the canal wider.
Whoa, all right, whoa, fellas. Easy does it. You got about another 7 inches on the left.
Bigger lanes could accommodate boats bigger than the Panamax freighters, ships made to exact specifications to fit through the Panama Canal. In the process, science gets another opportunity to see into the past.
So when these guys decided to cut through the canal, suddenly they offered up all this area for study.
Yes. Most geologists, even you know, from fairly well-funded academic departments, cannot rent the kind of equipment you can see up and down this
You can't dynamite a...
bulldoze 8 kilometers of rock, 45 feet thick. So this is a fantastic advantage that while they're widening the canal, they're also doing the most spectacular piece of geology. And so we're parasitic on that project.
Geologists, paleontologists, and other species of scientists will be following along behind the engineers' big earth movers, like birds behind a herd of buffalo, picking at the fresh fossils exposed. Hey, there's a flock of them now. Carlos Jaramillo is a paleoecologist.
Hello, Carlos. How are you? Nice to see you.
His team is working on the following question. What did the rise of the land bridge mean for the ecosystems of the 2 continents when they came smashing together?
I like this place because it represents like a funnel to which happened probably the biggest invasion of the last 60 million years anywhere in the world, from North America to South America. They have to cross here.
Carlos's team turns up a couple of decent fossils a month. Here's the one they found this week.
Well, does that make the discovery easier when there's yellow tape around it? Hey, here's one. It's an extremely recent discovery. You found this yesterday?
Just yesterday. We put the yellow tape so we can locate that again. Because as you see,
put the yellow.
Yeah, it's hard to figure that out, no? But yes, we put. So when we found it, it wasn't like that. So everything was covered with sediment. So it was like that, and we just found this little piece here.
This is a 20-million-year-old crocodile rib. They've also found turtles, dolphin ribs, camel bones, shark's teeth, rhino bones, and lots of shells. Carlos's personal favorite was a vein of 20-million-year-old leaf fossils.
Very well preserved.
Oh, really?
And the preservation is so beautiful, and nobody has found actually good leaves in Panama. So finally we are going to know anything about the vegetation in this place before Panama collide with South America. So we were really excited about finding.
So this is prior to the 2 continents joining.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's great.
And the leaves, the preservation of the leaves is beautiful. It's amazing.
Carlos's research will help paint a clearer picture of the changing ecosystems in the wake of the continental merger. All across Panama, STRI scientists are working to describe both the old and the new. They're routinely finding and describing previously unknown species.
Froggy.
New frogs, new birds, new insects. Lots and lots of insects. We'd like to tell you how many species of insects there are in the world. Unfortunately, no one really knows. But we do know that there are more kinds of insects than all other species of animal combined. To figure out exactly how many, first scientists have to tell them apart. And that's where entomologist Annette Aiello comes in, at the Tupper Center in Panama City.
Now, here we have the most vast insect collection in the world.
Well, maybe the most organized and the best insect collection
in the Panamanian world.
Now, why are we collecting? Why are we collecting insects? Why are we collecting them at Stry?
Well, the same reason that anyone has been collecting ever in a scientific way. We want to know, what is all this stuff? Where are we? Who are we? How did we come to be? How do we relate to all of this?
Well, let's start with the basics. Bugs have a lot to tell us about the biodiversity of our world because they are so, well, diverse. Many species are barely distinguishable, except for how picky they are about where or how they live. Take weevils, for instance.
These are weevils. There are more weevils than anything else on Earth.
These now I see a couple thousand pins in here. Are these different types of weevils?
These are all different tiny weevils.
These are smaller, so they're the lesser of the two weevils.
These are little weevils. This is Apion, A-P-I-O-N. I pulled this out because they're tiny little things that look like a dot at the end of a sentence to demonstrate what we're up against here. Some of them, we have a full series of it that turn out to be 3 or 4 species when someone takes a good look at them.
So some of these poor weevils, you know, they're sitting pinned, and they're just like Johnny X.
Yeah, something like that.
That's not a bad name, though, Johnny X, if you had to do it.
Understanding just how many Johnny X's there are may help explain why weevils are so wildly successful in their diversity compared to other kinds of insects.
Now, this is a grasshopper.
Nice.
We have to kill it and pin it with the wings open, and then it's with the wings open. Then it's a
kill it and pin it. Then you'll be able to see it.
Insects are especially hard to study in the tropics because most of them live their whole life up in the treetops, far from the ground and far from insect researchers.
But we didn't learn how to get up the canopy until very recently. There were all sorts of crazy ideas,
how do you
personal
get up there?
jets and so on. But here we use canopy cranes, and that was Alan Smith's brilliant idea that he had one day. So you can go
also
anywhere.
can spin around in a circle.
Excellent. Guess where I'm going? A quick skip from the Pacific to the Atlantic gets us to one of the first canopy cranes ever erected. Another check mark on my list of things to do before I die.
It was set up in 1997.
Or possibly things to die doing.
We're all clear. We're all clear on runway 929er. 7,000 feet above the tree canopy. Not really. We're just going to go above the canopy. Eve, who does this all the time, takes scientists, emissaries, dignitaries, and occasionally actors.
My canopy basket mate will be Swiss entomologist Yves Basset. The crane can lift the basket up to 170 feet off the ground.
This may be the coolest thing I've ever done.
Oh, yeah?
Might be the stupidest thing also.
No, it's not stupid. But coolest, yes, I would agree.
Once we're in the air, the crane operator can deliver us to any branch within a 175-foot radius. But this crane isn't just about great views. It's about understanding the ecology of life up here. Before canopy cranes, scientists were stuck on the ground using various techniques like gassing the tree with pesticides to collect whatever fell out. Or they set traps and hope for the best.
Somebody who said that there is as many design of entomological traps that there are entomologists. Like everybody has his own idea of what's worked best for catching what kind of insect.
Duct tape. Some entomologists use climbing gear. Some even use balloons. But the canopy crane has made a whole new ecosystem accessible for study like never before. Scientists think more than half of all land species live in rainforest canopies. And fewer than 1 in 5 have been identified.
What is it like to discover a new species?
Well, of course, you feel happy because it's, in a way, it's progressing. In your own little way, you're contributing towards sort of enlarging, knowledge, scientific knowledge.
Which is great.
Yeah, sure. It gives you a warm feeling.
Yeah. Do you have one named after you?
Yes, I've several. Yeah.
Several? Really?
Yeah, but
if we discover a new one today, maybe we can call it name it after the Smithsonian.
No, maybe we can name it after you.
Oh, that'd be, an insect is kind of the perfect thing to be named after me. If it's ugly, and sharp teeth.
We didn't see many new bugs today, but that's okay. This crane is just one of the ways that the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute is expanding the frontiers of science in the tropics. From researchers on Barro, Colorado Island working to understand ecosystems today, to paleontologists unearthing clues to the environment millions of years ago. The more we know about the tropics, the better we can appreciate our effect on them. After all, if a land bridge 40 miles wide rising up out of the ocean could literally transform the planet, imagine what 6 billion human beings can do. It's such an inspiring view up here. I could stay all day. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
A-S-A-O. Hey, this has been great. That's my ride. Welcome to Smithsonian Vaults. Bye.